is just firing away. My headphones aren't even on.
Sarah, we have a tight schedule.
We are. She is running a tight ship over here.
I really wanted a Diet Coke, and I didn't even go get one.
Oh my God, I would love a DC.
All right, hold on.
Woo! Okay.
Okay, let's open them.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Sweet nectar.
Hello.
Episode 234.
Nothing like a neurotoxin in the morning.
Hey. In the morning. I know. I usually crack one open about 9:30.
Is that true?
Yeah.
Sometimes Susie's on. Sometimes. Have you seen the Diet Coke commercials? Probably not because you don't watch TV.
No. Why? What's happening?
So what they're doing, and they're really funny. They're cute. They have like some comedian or some good funny actor on there that's like walking down the street with a Diet Coke in their hand, and they're like, why do I drink Diet Coke? Because I can't. Because like, and I think it's a response to people who say like it's not good for you, and it's like the gist of the commercial is, well, yeah, like I mean, sometimes I do good things, but like also I want a Diet Coke sometimes. Like, so sue me. That's like what it feels like to me when I watch it. Totally. And I'm like, I wonder if this is like because they had a dip in, and I heard they did. What? That like Coca-Cola had a dip in the sales because everybody's like, soda's like terrible for you. But like, cheers.
Right. There is a scale. I'm not doing crack over here.
I was just going to say like no heroin, a Diet Coke, whatever.
I know.
It's like all balanced,
and
right,
if
people?
you do it in moderation, it tastes so good.
So good. Oh my God. Why is Diet Coke so good after working out?
Is it?
Sus. Is it? My 10 minutes of Beachbody doesn't really get me there.
Right. So you're saying like if I were to actually work out
like
really
you're
hard.
Like dying, like after a long run or when you're depleted of sodium.
Oh,
it is
yeah.
so good.
Okay, that makes
or
sense.
Or electrolytes or whatever the fuck happens when you work out. Sorry, Linda.
Sorry, Linda. I feel like we've neglected Linda.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Another person.
Either that or we cleaned up our act.
That is not what happened. Someone wrote on our Instagram, like, I love you guys. I love your show, but I just can't listen at work because the language and content.
Oh, well, yeah.
What? Our dick jokes aren't appropriate?
Oh, we have been talking a lot about kitty brothels.
They're not safe for work. Not kitty like kids, by the way.
Kitten. Holy crud. Really make that clear. Oh, no.
Great.
Help us all.
Linda is going to be so mad.
She's so mad.
You know who I want to get in touch with, though?
Who?
Is the anti-feminist from episode 5.
Maybe she's that. Okay.
The Great Debate
Dude,
episode.
it has been years.
Yeah, and I thought,
and
well,
a lot of
I don't
changes.
know her name anymore, but I bet you there's emails that I have with her.
I guarantee that
Contact
we've got her
details.
phone number. So we have to. We
Yeah.
called her.
Yeah, so I got to like track her down and be like, what? Because
We need to follow up.
do you think she told people to listen or?
One of two things happened.
Yeah.
She has either grown and evolved and now is like woke,
No way.
or dug her heels in and she is like
For sure. There's
Yeah.
like I thought at the time maybe we're planting seeds here and that like she'll see that we're right. But I don't think that's what happened. She was really invested in the ideology of patriarchy and assigned
Yes.
gender roles. That's hard to undo.
You're right. That's like upbringing.
There was a lot at stake.
But I have a friend who grew up like that and with one kind of mindset, especially about LGBT issues. And after just a couple years of being friends with me, she had a full, like, not like I did everything, but she does say that I helped show her that people are people.
Wow.
And she had not known that. And you know this person.
I can't believe she didn't know that.
Well, like, you grow up
Yeah.
with thinking that something is one way, and then you meet enough people to prove you're wrong. And really, that's what it's all about: is exposure and meeting people and like experiences and getting out there. And we talk about this all the time.
Yeah.
How you can have cultural experiences in your own neighborhood,
Yes.
and it's really important to do that.
One of the things that I've been thinking about lately, excuse me, ever since, well, you know how I write to all the serial killers?
Oh yes, I'm familiar with that thing you do.
Well, okay, first of all, I got a message from the Unabomber the other day, and it was about how he has like,
It's really hard for me to. It's so hard for me to like act like that's a normal thing. Like I'm supposed to, as a therapist, have like be like a blank slate and reflect
Right, you have
back.
no
Like
poker
I'm not.
face.
I'm the worst. I got Botox because I like needed to stop making reactive facial expressions.
well, anyway, he can't use as many stamps anymore because he got his funds, what they called encumbered,
Okay.
which I had never heard of. Anyway, we used to write all the time, so that's going to be less frequent now. But over the course of our relationship, it was kind of troubling to me that I felt more connection to him than to like members of my own family, and I felt like there was a better respect, which is really weird. And then
I can see what you mean by that, though, especially because the thing that you value, things about yourself that you value, sometimes your family doesn't see in you.
that's everybody, not
And
just me. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Totally. And the thing, he values those things.
Yeah, like he considers me a scholar.
Yes.
And
Yeah. All those.
Right.
Totally.
Then, we both read that Oprah book, The Sun Does Shine, about the guy that was wrongly accused.
Dude.
Right. It's intense.
Everybody has to read this.
I know. We have to make it a book.
We
club.
have to
But,
make
like,
it
then
a-
we're just copying Oprah.
I was thinking that. But, like, come on.
But it made me feel like maybe I should be more involved in prison work, like
Suze.
working with prisoners, because they have classes that I could maybe teach.
Why you should, if you even have a little bit, Suze, you should definitely do that.
Yeah?
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
And if you need any more inspiration, you have to watch this documentary, The Ward.
Okay.
I think it's called The Ward.
I feel like I would do a good job.
I have to double check what that is. But it's essentially like group therapy for people who are they have a lifetime sentence in Quantico. And I think it's Quantico. And they have outside people who are like, dudes who are like living free lives, regular dudes, come in and be part of this group therapy session, and everybody breaks. And you see that everybody's just a person and it's their circumstances that led them to being where they are. And just like in that freaking book.
Yeah.
And it is so important because, like, if people see that in other people, you take advantage of that, because, like, I can't ever be a nurse because I can't like deal with people hurting in the blood and all that. It's like too much for me. If you're somebody who can do that, oh my God, be it like if you enjoy doing that for people, be that. If you enjoy help and then you can see them for not what society sees them for, that's a gift, and you should absolutely use that. It like utilizes all of your best skills.
That's what I'm thinking, and I feel like my sense of humor and
Yes,
like I'm not easily offended or shocked. Mm-hmm. So
I think it's perfect. The only thing we're gonna have to do is put you in a turtleneck the whole time.
I love turtlenecks.
I know. I see no problems. It's the perfect plan.
Anyway, that's just something that was on my mind.
I just think this is great. I think you totally
Sarah,
should.
Thank you. I'm really glad we sorted that out.
That's cool. And talk about the good stories you're going to have with that.
What I'm saying.
I mean,
I can't
come
probably
on. The
share
book writes itself.
I don't know. I just feel like sometimes you have like a calling, like that. Exactly what you said about nursing. Yes. That's not for everybody,
right?
But if that's your gift, then you should use it.
You should do that, because like I don't understand how I fainted the sight of like blood.
Yes, you're so weird like that.
I was reading another thing about why people faint at blood. And
what do they say?
So it's actually really interesting. So the vagus nerve that runs through your whole body, that's like this new nervous system.
Why do they call it that?
I don't know.
Because what happens there stays in there.
Not Vegas.
I know.
Okay, but that's really funny. So it's like your emotional. It's different than like. It activates the parasympathetic or the sympathetic nervous system. So it's like it picks up messages from your whole body, and then it sends them all to this one little tiny center in your brain where there's basically like a toggle switch between parasympathetic and sympathetic. So whether you get like really excited and activates the fight or flight, or whether you slow down. So what they say is that people who have this sensitive vagus nerve, it sends a message so fast to this one center that the center that is supposed to like decide whether we go into fight or flight, like
Can't decide.
And it's like, so it's a
Plays
rapid,
dead.
It's a rapid shoot up of your blood pressure and then a rapid drop. And so it's like a confusion of this toggle switch that causes you to just, pass out. But some people also say that because everything has like an evolutionary, like origin. And what could be the evolutionary origin of this? Because it's not a fear of blood. Only 3% of the population has a fear of blood, which I can't remember the name of right now, but something phobia. But 15% of people faint at the sight of blood. So there's a discrepancy between that. We know that it's something more than just the fear of blood.
Okay, what is it?
So that's what this whole thing is. That's where they were able to go backwards and say it's not a fear. So it's not like the same thing as an anxiety or something that it is.
But why does the fight or flight response get activated?
Oh, okay. So that's what I was getting at. So like, in most situations with most people, it like tells you, okay, you need to run away from here. They are thinking that maybe what this is because it's specific to blood, that it's something where it causes you to faint. Like if you see blood, there's the assumption that blood is from you and leaving your body. So your body's protection against that is to make you faint, to reduce the blood flow, like reduce blood pressure, because your blood doesn't flow as fast when you're laying down as when you're standing up.
I am so into this.
Cool, huh?
Yes!
I didn't even think you were going to be into that story. And I was like, I didn't even write that down. I was like, I just watched a video on it and was like thinking about that. What did we
The human body is so friggin' weird.
Oh my God, so weird. And there's there's a reason for all that.
Right.
And, you know how we talk about ASMR all the time and my thing that I love, with that? I made an assumption in class that there was like a tie between this ASMR and the vagus nerve, and turns out there is. And I was like, dang, I totally guessed that. And I was like, all the kids in class, I was like, did you hear me? Did you hear when I said that? Remember? And they were like,
you are the worst.
I'm the worst. But I was like, that totally is. And I said, I bet people who have that have a hyperactive vagus nerve and probably are more likely to faint to the sight of blood. And turns out they are.
This is like when you determined that people that can't smell their asparagus.
Guess what? That's wrong. I'm so glad you brought that up. That's anecdotal.
Okay, wait.
And I'm so upset about it.
The theory was, because I can't smell asparagus pea.
Dude, you basically are the reason why I looked like an idiot at a dinner table the other night, because I brought this up.
What was the thing that we thought went with it?
It's the cilantro.
Okay, yeah, but I also hate cilantro. It tastes like soap. Mm-hmm. I have a problem. So Sarah theorized.
Yes. It's the same gene, they're same chemicals and
like
enzymes.
The same genetic mishap.
Yes.
And how did you find out you were wrong?
Because I announced it, and somebody was like, I was like, I think
a doctor spoke up?
No, somebody was like, oh my God, I have a friend who thinks cilantro tastes awful. I'm just going to send him a blind text that says, Can you smell asparagus in your pee? And he did that, and he was like, well, it smells different. And I was like, damn it!
Okay,
it's
Sarah.
Anecdotal, but I still
your study that you did with one person.
No, I read an article where it said that.
Oh no,
it was like not me. It was fucking science that told me. Sorry, Linda.
No, I'm saying this person that's debunking it is just maybe the exception, because it's not like we're saying everybody. It could be just a greater tendency.
That's probably the case.
The jury is still out.
Correlation, not causation.
That's what I'm saying.
Gosh, I'm forgetting my own golden rule.
I love that you even brought this up at a social event.
It was wine. I mean, I'm at the wine. It was at my own house with all Landon's wine people and everything. Okay. And so, or maybe we were at a restaurant, but it was with wine people.
Amongst these people, did anyone else hate cilantro?
No, there are only 6 of them. So
okay.
Not enough.
I mean, that is a real problem.
And
it is on everything.
Hey, if you people do not like, and I don't mean you people by you cilantro people. I don't want to marginalize you. Cilantro haters are people too. So if you are somebody who does not like cilantro, please let us know
if you can smell asparagus.
And also, if you're somebody who can't smell asparagus in your pee, also let us know.
Yeah.
I need a Venn diagram of these people. I need to know where they intersect,
right.
What the overlapping group looks like.
I just have a lot of genetic defects.
What do they call that section?
Oh, I don't know.
There's definitely a name for it.
Oh.
Why wouldn't there be?
I think people just call it the overlap.
Look
it up.
There needs to be a fancier name for that.
Well, the fancier name for my bra, though, is Third Love.
Oh, mine too!
Last week you did like a perfect segue into me talking about the bra, but this week not so much, even though I am wearing it.
Yeah. Oh, God. Because I checked out your bra.
Yes. Third Love has the most comfortable bras going on, and they have a gazillion sizes now.
Well, and a gazillion styles.
Yeah.
Like sexy.
Really pretty stuff. They have, they tailor the bras for size and shape, and they come in exclusive half cup sizes as well. They're made by women for women. I freaking love that. 60 sizes. Most bra brands only carry 15.
Oh, my God.
So, I mean, they have from AA through G. I remember my grandma was a nearly A.
Oh, that's like me.
I mean, that's real cute.
Before I ever got pregnant, I was a nearly A, and now I'm just solid A. So
nice. All right.
Yeah.
And 50% of women fall in between cup sizes. So thank you, Third Love, for creating the half cuppers. And they have no itchy tags. They have straps that don't slip. Just really nice. I've also adopted their underpants.
I was just going to say matching chonies.
They're really, 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 really nice. I also got a robe. I'm just saying.
I didn't even know they made robes.
And I have my eye on this gorgeous lace bodysuit.
And
Sarah's mad. Okay, Third Love knows there's a perfect bra for everyone. So right now they're offering our listeners 15% off your first order. Go to thirdlove.com/brain now to find your perfect fitting bra and get 15% off your first purchase. That's thirdlove.com/brain for 15% off today. They have a little quiz you can take to figure out what size you are, all that jazz. You'll love it. Okay.
Yeah, one of the questions is like, how long have you owned your bra? 6 months, 1 to 2 years, 3 years. I was like, where's the box for 10 years?
Yeah.
I'm not kidding.
Right.
Like, get a new bra, Sarah.
Right. I mean, it's because
still holding on for my training bra from Target when I was 13. Still fits.
Wait a minute. I want to know. Do you remember your first bra?
I remember I remember with my like having to go get a bra. Really?
What? Here's
what happened.
Okay.
This
is so great.
I mean, puberty was a rough time for me, where everything was growing at like I was simultaneously like eating my feelings because of stuff that was going on and trauma from childhood, and so I think with gaining a lot of weight real fast and also hitting puberty, which also makes your weight fluctuate, I got weird pointy boobs that looked like they were like those weird little in between boobs that were like.
It's awkward.
It's awkward.
Yeah.
And it really just became like I just needed to wear something because you could like see stuff through my shirt.
Right, but it wasn't a full-on
But it's
boob.
not like a boob. I never ever got that I never ever felt like I developed. Like I still don't feel like that. I'm still waiting for the boobs to come in.
Let me ask you.
Like I'm going to wake up and it's going to be like, oh, and now I'm a lady.
I think they call those pointy kind buds.
Oh,
the breast
I still
buds.
have that a little bit.
Oh,
if
let me
I eat
ask you
soy
this.
milk if I drink too much soy milk, I have to stop. I have to it made me like I was like, oh my
What
God,
happened?
those changed. It's like the estrogen in there or something made me.
Okay, this is a controversial question.
Okay,
but it's only because I don't know the answer.
Yeah.
Do you think that the same reason that you didn't develop what you would consider to be full breasts has anything to do with what you also say you have, which is a masculine energy? Like, do you have low estrogen?
I wonder. I almost think I have high testosterone because I kind of reacted the same way that men do when they have a lot of soy.
Yeah.
So
what do they call it? Man boobs or whatever?
It's like gynecomastia. I think that I have elevated levels of like testosterone or something, especially with like body hair I get in places.
Yes.
Oh, like all over.
That is interesting.
So I've never had it tested or never had anything like done like that. But again, anecdotally.
Right. Would you be interested in like testing, or are you just sort of like whatever?
Yeah, I mean, I would because like I heard that Khloe Kardashian had high testosterone or something, and she had to get to get pregnant, like she had to do stuff, or like it can be difficult in the whole pregnancy process. So I would want to know if like something like that.
Interesting.
I don't know enough about her story to really know. I just kind of like skimmed over that in an article or something.
Well, what about, and this is the part where I'm sure I'm way off, but it wouldn't have anything to do with sexuality, would it? Do you think it could?
Maybe. I think it could, because I think, like they say that a brain is sexed.
Yeah.
Like based on the whatever hormones are in there.
Yeah.
So if I have higher levels of those hormones, that maybe it would like
male.
sex a brain in a certain way. And we all know, and I score like that on tests.
What tests are you taking?
We did the the MMPI. It says that you have like a tomboy brain that they did for the show. And remember, like, then Johnny called me out on
I
being
do
the,
remember.
No. Yeah.
Okay, well, that's very interesting. We don't have answers.
We don't, but maybe I should get a hormone levels checked, and then we would know.
Why isn't this fucking iPad working? I want to do the news stinger so bad.
It would be like, this just in.
Dun, 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 dun.
Sarah is...
Question mark.
What do they call it? Non-normative?
Yeah, non-normative. Yeah.
But I've always said that anyway.
Newsflash, canceled.
You would be so proud of me. When I was in my sex therapy class, I didn't even get on a soapbox and talk at all about, like, well, if you would like to know anything about people who are like da-da-da-da, I didn't even share any personal anecdotes.
Okay. What do you think that urge to do it is, where you want to share?
I just think some people in the class have not had any exposure to that.
And you want to spread the word.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
And I can, like, see it, like the look where they're, like, shocked by just, like, things that shouldn't be shocking. And I'm like, oh, you think that's interesting? I mean, really,
I got news for you.
Yeah, I got something to tell you.
Did you read the story about the guy that plays clarinet and changing the subject?
Go on.
And he had worked his whole life to get into a particular school and work under a particular clarinetist. And he was in a relationship with a girl, and she intercepted his email, like she had access to his accounts, and was so upset that he got accepted because he was going to move to go to the school, that she responded and through his account and said, no, thank you. He had no idea. And so then she created a separate account sending him a rejection.
What the fuck, this bitch?
Yeah.
Sorry, Linda.
So he, all this time, like years, thought he got rejected from his dream and had to just carry on with his life. And they ended up breaking up for a separate reason, like 6 months later. And then...
I mean...
Right.
It didn't even work out.
And so then he still wanted to work under that guy. And so he went to I think it was Berkeley, maybe, and auditioned in front of the guy. And the guy was like, okay, but why are you here if you rejected our offer? And he was like, I didn't reject your offer. You rejected me. And they had this like awkward back and forth. And then eventually he realized what had happened. And he sued her.
I was going to say, there has to be some sort of legal, like...
Yeah.
Because that's messed up. What do you sue him for?
Well, he lost that job, which was going to be lucrative, the scholarship, and changed his career.
I
think he got $400,000, and he's now working elsewhere as a clarinetist, and he's amazing. I watched a video, but what would you do?
Oh, man. How can that woman sleep at night?
Right?
I mean, first of all, if you know anything about being in love, you know that the goal is to see the other person and like...
want the best for them?
Yes, to want the best and want them to have success in whatever it is that they want.
Yeah.
Like, how sad that you're putting your needs and your... like, that didn't even work out. So, like, how if it only a few months later you were broken up ahead of... like, how selfish and narcissistic is this chick?
I can't even conceive of being that cruel.
Could you imagine? I think about the one thing I wanted more than anything in the world was to be accepted into this program at Chapman, and they only take like 8 people. For the semester I was going, only 5 people were chosen.
Yeah.
And I was so nervous.
Yeah.
And I was on the challenge when like I found out. And to think, and I remember when Landon like called production and told me, and and it was I had never been, I mean, I cried. I was like so excited. I could like see all my dreams coming true.
Yeah.
And to think that somebody prevented, like somebody that says that they love that person, prevented that person from ever having that moment is devastating to me.
And when he got the rejection that she actually had sent, she comforted him. And
she's a
psychopath.
She's a psychopath. That's just that. There you go. That's it.
And she was like trying to say like,
behavior,
it'll be
right?
okay.
Oh, for sure.
Can you imagine?
That's like, no, she's a monster.
Like, he's super cool about it and being like, you know what? I have a great girlfriend now and everything's fine. But what if it didn't end up fine?
Dude, and I would say he dodged a bullet with that one.
Yeah, my God. And who's
imagine?
going to ever be with that psycho bitch?
Psycho.
Sorry,
no,
Linda.
she's going to totally manipulate somebody else.
Right.
Yeah,
she probably
that's
prefers that kind of guy.
Probably.
Gross me out.
Yeah. Isn't it just sick that they're like, just...
I mean, she needs some serious help.
But the sad thing is, those kind of people don't
Right.
ever... Because she doesn't even register it on her radar that she's done something wrong.
The judge was furious, though, and he let her have it, although she never showed up for the trial. Like, and the judge was like, to not even show up,
Yeah.
you know, she's psycho.
I love when judges let people have it.
Well, when they deserve it.
Yeah, like the gymnast guy, when the woman was like...
She was awesome.
It was so good.
She's a badass bitch, which if I had the stinger, I would do it.
Badass bitch.
I wonder why that's not working.
I don't know. What if it is on the other end?
If only I was married to a sound guy. This mystery could be solved. You look really cute today, by the way.
Thank you.
We keep using that as our segue.
I know. Well,
but that's because we look adorable.
Mm-hmm.
Have you guys been buying our stuff on Poshmark?
I know the answer to that.
You've been selling out.
Yeah, I'm like selling like hotcakes.
Yeah.
New stuff posting soon.
Yeah.
Stay tuned.
I'm like going through my
And
closets.
I'm like cutting deals like right and left. So like if you send me an offer, I'm like accepting. I'm in the
too.
accepting mode. So like send your offers away. Don't get crazy though.
Yeah, don't be rude.
I had like a freaking BCBG jacket up there that like retails for $200 and something. I have it listed for $46, and somebody was like, "I'll give you 17," and I was like, "No."
Well, hey,
I said 38. That's a good deal.
I don't mind that though. It's worth a try.
Oh, well.
I say if that's their budget and they really like it.
Okay, fair.
Don't be mad at them, Sarah.
I know. I'm just like, you gotta go with like 50% off.
Yeah. If you want to be involved in our silliness here and buy some stuff, or if you want to list stuff of your own, you can download the Poshmark app via iTunes or Play Store. You can create a closet, and then you can shop in our closets, and you can search by brand and filter it by your size, so you only see stuff that would fit you. I've been getting a ton of bathing suits, as you've seen on Instagram. Lots of stuff is new with tags.
Yes, I love that. I have some stuff that's new with tags.
Me too.
That BCB jacket still has the tags on, in fact. You can get it on there.
You can get really good deals. And here's the thing. It's a free app. And if you sign up, use our referral code, which is Sarah's closet name. It's at I'm Sarah Rice. And you'll get $5 off your first purchase. And I'm listed as Susie Meister. As I said, Sarah is I'm Sarah Rice. And if you use that referral code at I'm Sarah Rice, you get $5 off your first purchase. And like she said, if you see something you want, make an offer. Yeah. And then we'll ship it. I've been putting little cards saying thank you to everybody. It's fun.
Oh, yeah, me too. Wrapping it up all cute. I
Super
love it.
cute.
People.
Yeah.
There's wine here. Look out.
We had a pot. Oh, I have the hiccups. It's the wine.
It is.
Look that up. Why does wine...
Why does
like,
wine
you know how
give you the hiccups?
They do in movies, like the drunk always
like
has the
acting
hiccups.
like yeah.
Why?
Yeah,
Science.
that is interesting. It's got to... no, that doesn't work, what I was going to say.
Okay, let me talk about a story I heard.
Oh,
that
okay.
is not funny,
Oh.
but it is, like, kind of.
Should I scare you at some point during this? Stretch your diaphragm. Yeah. Yeah, stretch it.
All right, I'll stretch that.
Yeah, and
Okay.
I also hear if you do like upward facing dog.
Oh, Lord,
you need to
that's
stretch
involved.
your diaphragm.
Okay, how about how there was this lady? It's not funny. who was at Costco.
Oh, that's a Costco.
And she... Fuck. We might have to stop the show. Damn it. Okay. She was in the parking lot.
It's going to be the saddest story. And you're going to say it. Okay.
And
Ladies in
the parking lot was under construction.
What is happening?
I'm trying to stop it. Okay, I think that was it.
Totally
The parking lot was... The parking lot was under construction, and these hooligans on the top floor of the parking garage or parking lot pushed a cart over the edge. And it landed on her.
Oh,
Tragically,
my God.
she lived, but, I don't know if she's paralyzed or whatever. I think it was neurological.
Well, yeah, when a
brain
shopping
damage.
cart falls from this is like the piano falling off of the roof thing in cartoons, but in like real life.
Yeah, like an anvil.
Yes, it's like that. What the actual
And
F?
there's video and stuff like of the kids doing it. One kid was like saying, "Don't do it," and the other two were like, "Whatever," and just pushed it over.
Teenagers.
And she won $45 million in a settlement.
Whoa!
Right?
Where does that $45 million come from? Who's she suing? The kids, the
They
parents,
dispersed. In the article showed the percentages. The kids, it was like very minimal. Most of it was Costco and the company that was working
Costco?
Yeah. Because the company that was working on the renovations of the parking lot knew that people were throwing things off the edge before that and didn't do anything to like create a temporary solution. And so they're being held.
But I don't think that that doesn't, to me, that doesn't sit right with me.
Why?
I kind of feel like the people who, okay, if you hit somebody with your car, you don't sue the car manufacturer, the people who make the car.
Maybe she knew that because they were
This
so
is like
young.
that same guns don't kill people, people kill people. Well, okay, no, actually it's not the same.
Well,
But
it's a situation of who to blame. And
I don't like blaming the Costco for this when it happened in your, it's the...
Who? You blame the kid.
Yes, the one who friggin' threw the golf cart or the
Yeah.
shopping cart off of there.
I see your point, but if the company that's handling the renovation knows there's a situation and is like, it'll be fine.
Like, what is it called? Willful ignorance?
Yeah. Kids are kids. They were like 14. I'm talking, like,
And
kids
boy,
are
oh
stupid.
boy, when you have an underdeveloped prefrontal lobe, you do dumb shit.
I did.
We are designed to do that. Teenagers are designed to do that.
So
it's that same thing. Remember when we talked on the previous episode about how it's important to put your children in things that kind of scare them a little bit, but to make them know that they can...
Expose them to...
That is the point.
Yeah.
Evolutionarily speaking, of why teenagers have this underdeveloped brain so that they can test the limits of their own everything.
Yeah. Well, they tested him,
Yeah.
and this lady almost died.
That is so sad. Well, that's where that goes bad. Oh, God.
Right, and her life will never be the
I
same.
wonder if
Can you
there's
imagine if that were
remorse
you?
From
I'm sure. Maybe not.
sometimes
but
there
I
isn't.
suspect because they were just being jackasses.
Well, I hope that the parents of those kids teach, because two things happen. One of two things happens. Either the parents make the kids face the consequences and own up to the, like what they did.
Sure.
Or they have the parents who shield them from everything and who are like, we don't want to burden our child with this. We're going to protect them from everything of this. And then they don't really, it doesn't register.
They don't get it.
They don't get it.
Yeah.
I hope that didn't happen. I feel like that happens a lot these days. I feel like it's the same thing that happens when kids get in trouble at school and the parents take the kid's side over the teacher.
Right.
We're seeing a lot of that.
Yeah, I saw a comic strip that depicted that, how it used to be versus how it is now.
Yeah.
And it used to be the parents just trusted the word of the teachers,
Yeah.
which has its own dangers. But
Yeah.
now it's like, my kid's perfect. And that's gross too. So.
Totally.
Okay, I want to tell you about this thing that I read about. Actually, a Brainiac submitted to us on the Brain Candy Crush Facebook page. It was about what happens to a kid's brain when you read to them. I thought it was really cool.
Hello.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it was talking about the way that the study was constructed. They did, a book that you're reading, but there's also pictures. Mm-hmm. They did animation that accompanied the reading.
Okay.
And then they did...
So like words on a screen?
Yeah.
Okay. So like you'd be reading
You're reading
subtitle.
them, but then there's like action
Yeah.
that they can watch on a screen that coincides with what you're reading. And then they did audio only. So I guess just you reading, no pictures, no animation. Yeah. And they called it the Goldilocks effect, where the audio only, where you're just reading to them, was too cold. And then the animation was too hot.
Too much stimulation.
Too much.
It's too much. Oh my God.
Yeah.
There are a lot of like assumptions that can be made from these things. I think it says a lot.
It said that when you did the animation and the reading to them, there was a lot of activity.
Yes, too much.
But not a lot of connectivity.
Oh my God. Well, it shows like anything. You need to learn in small doses. Mm-hmm. You can't just take a kid and you want to teach him science and give him chemistry, high school level chemistry. Yeah. You start with water is made up of,
Yeah, and that's kind of what it said, is that when they did the normal way, most parents, they get a book out that has pictures, you read it to them. So this is sort of the traditional route, and it turns out to be the best.
That is such good news.
It says the words you're saying that they're hearing was scaffolded, which I love that word, by the visuals. So anything that was confusing or abstract, the visuals filled the gaps in.
And probably vice versa.
Yeah.
And, oh my God.
Isn't that fun?
This is so good. And also I think it leaves room for interpretation and for adding your own imagery in between. When it's too much animation, it creates the movement and like the it's almost like, what is that word? Like kinetic energy. Like we can, by just looking at one picture that's just a still, there's the anticipation, like your brain
is doing some of the work.
Yes. It's like what happened before, what happened, what's going to happen after. It starts to fill in the holes, and that's kind of what we do as humans. Like what we learn to do is like, what is going to happen? What's going to be the consequences of this, cause and effect, blah, blah, blah. And that's what's developed. But if you have an animation that shows here's what happens next, maybe in their little baby brain, they created some like wild thing that happens next.
Yeah.
And you're almost like stifling creativity by providing them the answer of what happens next.
I always talk about Bob Newhart, and he's famous for the one-sided phone call.
Yes.
And when people come up to him after the show and say, "What a great set, you were amazing," he always says, "Well, you did half the work," because the audience.
That gives me goosebumps.
It's what you're saying.
Yeah, it's totally true.
You have to fill in what you think that other person is saying based on the context of his.
And that's why we like jokes, because we are anticipating what the future, what the punchline is, and then when it's different than what we think, it's novelty, which we already talked about. We love. Mm-hmm. Man, it's always great when everything always comes full circle, and it's like all these things we talk about on all these the 200 bajillion podcasts we've done, all are tangled.
What's fun though is I feel like I still learn so much every week.
So much. And then when you like, I feel like I'm able to kind of make the connections of like, oh my God, that reminds me of this, which I can assume all of our brainiacs are doing too. And that is like, it's like my brain has fun doing that. I can feel it. Like I get the dopamine surge.
The only thing that makes me bummed out about it is like that I feel like there's so much to learn and I just don't have enough time. Like in life, not just like day to day. I'm I only have a few years left. I have so much I want to read and know and learn.
I was thinking about that just the other day. Actually, it was when I was driving to your house this morning, and for the first 15 minutes of my drive, I was listening to music for a little bit. And it has been so long since I listened to music, because I've been on an audiobook kick. Yeah. I mean, I have never read so many books in a month. I've been spending all my free time actually like reading instead of watching TV or whatever. Yeah. And I'm like, oh my God, my brain kind of missed music for a little bit. And you almost have to like also treat yourself to that side of it.
Totally.
Because if you get swamped down in like, it's like the little man Tate syndrome.
What's that?
Little Man
I know
Tate was
the
that
movie,
movie,
but what's
and he
the,
developed
syndrome?
ulcers because he worried so much, and he's like knew more than a child should know. And it's like we always talk about like
The opposite of ignorance is bliss.
And it is like he got ulcers because he worries about, because he knows so much, and it's so heavy to carry that, like, you know. So it's like, make sure you balance it out with a little, like, Maroon 5.
Love it. It's like you're a Maroon 5 apologist now. Okay, so we have a guest on today's show, and he is somebody that I've known for many, many years. His name is Valentine is his full name, Brkich.
I love that.
I do too for a man's name. I love it.
It's so great.
Yeah, Val Brkich. And he is a blogger. He blogs about parenthood. And it's funny because, you know, most parent bloggers are mommy bloggers.
Uh-huh.
And so I really like hearing what he has to say. And he and I have similar parenting styles, which is like we want to pull our hair out. Yeah. And so he has a book out, and we wanted to talk with him about that and see what his point of view is, because we're used to hearing about the female point of view. And I thought, let's get the scoop on what it's like being a dad.
And it's really funny when they are like, oh my God, isn't this frustrating? And you're like, yeah, welcome to the club.
Right, because we talked about that on a recent episode, how parenting has changed so much over the years.
Totally. I'm seeing so many articles and like stuff
I
in the
bet
news about
dads
this.
feel real ripped off because they are having to do a lot of work that they didn't used to have to do.
That is totally true.
And they will pretend and be like, oh no, it's rewarding. Come on.
You know what?
Furious.
It's about time they understood what the double shift is like.
Right?
That's what they call it, second shift.
Yeah, because I used to talk to Adam about that when we had a baby. It's like we both would work all day.
Yeah.
And then when you're at home in the evening, a lot of times when you're a stay-at-home mom, then the dad often thinks, well, that's still your job because you're the stay-at-home mom. But my position is, even if you're a stay-at-home mom, if you're both there, you're both on duty.
Yes.
And you should split it.
Yeah.
But sometimes that's hard to convince. But Val, since he works from home as a writer, he's kind of like the primary parent.
Yeah, he's in it. He is fully, and that's what provides him so many hilarious stories. So
right. I think you're going to enjoy it. He's super funny and super wonderful. You should check out his blog, Small Town Dad, and also get his book because, I mean, it's like good for the soul to read about how kids are like ridiculous.
Confessions of Animal and Boogie Face?
Confessions. I like that better.
Oh, it's probably not Confessions.
Wait, let me get it. Okay, The Chronicles of Boogie Face and the Animal, One Small Town Dad's Adventures in Fatherhood is the name of the book. I like that we thought it was Confessions, though.
I mean, you know.
It should be that. He's Catholic, so he would like that.
Oh, that's clever. There you go.
The Chronic. What calls a Boogie Face? Welcome to the show again, secretly again.
Again? What are you talking about? I've always wanted to be on your show. I can't believe it's finally happening.
To me, it feels like a deja vu. That might be just me.
Yeah.
But anyway, thank you so much for coming on because we're really excited about your book and we have to talk to you about parenting, your blog, all that jazz.
Dad's perspective.
Yeah.
It's about time we have a little male.
I know. We need a dude around.
You know.
I'm very manly.
Like,
very manly guy.
Val.
Male perspective. That's what
this book has been like, how many years in the making?
10 years in the making.
Right.
10 years. 10 long, painful years.
When you became a dad, you had the foresight to chronicle the nonsense.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I really don't have a choice. It's just...
it's like therapy.
It really is. It's two things, really. Like, I definitely wanted to make sure I remembered all these things that were happening. But at the same time, like, I needed to just... I couldn't afford a therapist at the time, so I was like, this is a good way to do it.
Well, and you started by putting it on your blog, Small Town Dad. And what was the response when you started doing this? Because you are very honest. You're not, like, sugarcoating anything here.
Yeah, well, it's funny. Like, a lot of people like it. They get it. But, it started out, I had a blog before where I just kind of kind of complained about things because I have a tendency to do that. So
you'll fit in real well around here.
Yeah. I just kind of ranted about things, and then whenever I found out that my wife was pregnant with our daughter, I started writing about that. And the magazine that I was writing for at the time said, this is what you should be doing. Like, this is what you should be writing about, because they really liked something I wrote about, fatherhood. And so I kind of just switched it over to that. I just started writing all about my kids. I mean, I had no choice, honestly, because I'm sure any listener out there who knows if you have kids, your life is pretty much there. And there's really not much to write about anymore. Yeah, exactly.
When we would hang out, Val has these epic Friday night wine nights on their porch.
Sign me up.
It's so awesome. And like the kids will just run around and like kick each other's asses, and it's great. But like I remember say, when you're parenting, you're in the mess, and like you want to enjoy it because you know that someday you'll be nostalgic for it. But it's really hard because it's a difficult time period, right?
Yeah. I wrote about this. I've written letters to myself, like, listen, like years from now, I'm going to read, don't feel bad. Like, don't look back and say, oh, I should have appreciated it more, because it was hard. It was really, really hard. And yeah, I love my kids. I love being a dad. It's the greatest thing in the world. But I don't understand these people who say like, oh my gosh, they're already 10. Where'd the time go? This has been the longest 10 years of my life.
It's like slow motion.
What do you say about the challenge? It's like long days.
They say that.
But
like the days are long, but the years are short.
Yes.
The years are long too.
Oh.
Everything's long. I mean, my daughter, I remember, she's 10 now, and it didn't start speeding up. Things didn't start speeding up, honestly, until they reached like school age. Yeah. So like that first 6 years or whatever is just slogged. And it's funny because I'm happy you mentioned that wine night, because I remember one time Susie came over, and I can't remember how old Lincoln was, but like, we used to all just get together and hang out. And it was so much fun, and like, we would just laugh and we had no problems. And the entire time that we were there, like, Lincoln was just crying and screaming.
And Adam was out of town for months.
Right.
And I brought Susie, that kid up.
Yeah. And Susie was just trying to... Yeah, you couldn't even get a moment to, like, take a sip of your wine. And I remember, like, at one point, you're just like, I'm leaving. And it was so depressing.
I can imagine
what have we done to ourselves?
Right. We had such nice lives, Val.
We had it all, and we threw it down the gutter.
We had it all.
Oh, man.
Right. But we're lucky, though, because when you do have friends like that and everyone's in it together.
In the mud.
That's lucky.
Yeah.
What is your advice, though, for dads in particular? Because I'm fascinated by how the dad role has changed and how you guys are expected to actually be involved now.
Yeah, what's up with that?
You really were born in the wrong generation.
I know.
Yeah,
well, I'm talking to these people that... Oh, go ahead, Sarah.
We didn't work, so...
True.
Those were also not so bad days for us either.
Well, it was my choice to work from home. I thought that was a good idea. But I've talked to men who are like, yeah, I never changed my kid's diaper one time, or I hardly ever saw my kids growing up, and I'm like, what are you talking about? Like, I mean, I'm just like surrounded, and I mean, we're out of the diaper phase now, but there was a day when I could do it in like 2.3 seconds. I could whip that thing off.
One-handed.
Nice.
Oh yeah, with one glass of wine in the other hand.
Do you think it's easier to be a parent to your daughter or your son?
Good question.
Well, right now it's easier to be a parent to my daughter, because she's 10 and she's in love with daddy, and it's just so wonderful.
Cute.
And I tell her, like, every night, like, she's like, Daddy, come kiss me goodnight. And I always tell her, like, any day now, you're not going to want me like anywhere near you. And she cannot believe that it's true. And but so right now, like, she's always been kind of easy. She's always been kind of laid back and more, just calm. Now my son, there's a reason why we call him the animal,
right?
Because I mean, that's what I equate him to. He's just a crazy wild animal. And I always tell people, I wanted to have 4 kids. I come from a family of 3. I wanted to have 4. And after we had my son, I was like, I can't do this anymore. I'm gonna die if I have any more kids. Do you think it's
a boy thing? Because I do feel like that, but maybe it's just their individual personalities.
I thought it was, but then my little sister has 4 girls, and her second turned out like so. My son, he obviously was my second and last. So my sister's second. Like, she's crazy too. I mean, but she's crazy, but not, I don't know, not in a very destructive, like, fear, like I'm afraid of you way, like I am with my son.
Girls can sometimes be more on the manipulative side versus the physical.
And
I'm going to throw a temper tantrum and use my feet as weapons.
Do you think there's a chance that your son is like a psychopath?
Oh, absolutely. Oh yeah. I tell people all the time, I can like see this future moment where I'm on the news and they have a microphone to me and they're asking me, sir, Mr. Brkich, did you ever imagine that your son could be capable of something like this? And I'm like, yeah, absolutely. We saw this coming years ago.
So what kind of shenanigans is he getting into, this little guy? Because I mean,
she's like, how bad could it be?
As someone with no kids, I'm over here like, how bad could it be?
Well, I mean, okay. If you like any sort of peace and quiet,
I do.
Forget about it, because he never stops talking or making noises. He goes into the bathroom and he sits on the toilet and he's in there like just talking to himself, gibberish, singing, like just making up.
Wasn't he the one that years ago totally smashed in your entire stove glass front and there was shattered glass all over the kitchen?
Yes.
No.
Thank you for reminding me of that. It was a really great day.
It was a great day.
That's like a full replace the whole thing.
Oh yeah, no. I was trying to work from home, and he was. I think he was like 2, and my daughter was 4, and she was with me in my office, just kind of quietly playing, and I kind of lost track of him. I mean,
like you do.
He can take care of himself, and then I heard this dragging sound, like a wood dragging sound.
Oh god!
And I don't know why it didn't like alarm me, like get up and see what's going on. But the next thing I hear is this giant crash that sounded like the china cabinet had fallen over.
Oh my god!
So I jump up, and my daughter and I run out of the room and into the kitchen, and I found the animal lying in a pile of glass in front of the oven.
He sounds like my dog.
Oh.
Your bulldog.
Yes.
Like, right.
What's the
so
thing
apparently
he
wanted his milk. He wanted his sippy cup, which was on the counter in the kitchen, and the only way he could get it is if he dragged his high chair in from the dining room. But he didn't get it close enough to the counter, so he reached out for the milk, and the high chair slipped out from under him, and he fell into the oven. That could have been
so much worse.
Oh yeah.
Oh
and
my
I think
god.
His head broke the glass.
Yeah.
I don't know what happened.
Oh my god. I'm
but
freaking out over here.
Melon. He's like Lincoln. He got the big melon.
Right.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Oh. This is why Val had to write the Chronicles of Boogie Face and the Animal, because it is a daily thing of like what catastrophe is going to happen.
You better
absolutely.
write that down.
And so like, where do you go from here though now? Because you're like the dad guy. What if like you age out of this, and what are you going to write about?
Oh gosh. I don't know. I don't think I'll write about anything.
You're going to be like
his kids are heading towards teenage years.
Oh,
he's going to have a second and third edition coming out.
I feel like it's going to reverse, because then she'll be hard to manage and he'll be like just chilled out.
Yeah.
Right, but I'm going to have to publish this on the black web. This is going to have to be like really top secret, because I can't call my daughter Boogie Face when she's 14 years old.
Yeah, that was going to be my question is, do they know that they are the stars of the book, the main characters?
They do as of publication date, they do. So
how do they feel about it? They think that they're famous and stuff? They like it?
Yeah, they were excited. They thought it was cool, and they wanted to read the book, and I said, you can't read the book.
You're kidding. They wanted to read it?
Great. Yeah. Well, there are a couple stories in there that would kind of ruin some fun things for them. So, I don't want to. So eventually I want them to read it, because I definitely want them to see all the crap they put me through.
Yeah, definitely.
and how much they owe me.
It's such a nice thing that they will have that to read when they're older, and they can read it to their kids.
Oh, that's so cute.
it's cool because like I ask my dad about things or my mom, about my childhood. And I mean, I'm lucky. I have a really pretty good memory, but not everybody has the time or whatever to sit down and do this stuff. And, I really am glad that I did, because I think it's something that they can look back on. And when I can look back on it, because sometimes I just page through it and I'm like, and I don't even remember some of these things happening.
Well,
So.
Do you ever regret like putting your private life out in public? I mean, we know a little something about that, so I just was curious.
Yeah, I was really wary about it at first, writing about my kids, and that's why I don't call them by their names, or, I try to kind of stay vague about things. But, the response from like the people who read it, they really like it, and it kind of helps me. Like I said, it's like group therapy or something. So, I'm kind of an open book myself, as you know, Susie. So I don't really have a lot of secrets.
Well, I love, sometimes on Facebook, Val will do like a tour of his kitchen, like when he feels like it's particularly messy. And I think that's so refreshing, because we talk a lot about how social media is all fake and everyone's presenting like a very polished view, and you do the opposite.
Yeah. I mean, I want everybody to see it, because it's just funny. Like, I don't know, people think like we're lucky. We live in a nice house in a nice town, and everybody thinks that we're rich. And so I just kind of want to show them how poor we are. So maybe make a donation or something.
Right. Well, that's what I was going to say, is you are obviously doing something right, because the Boogie Face was just honored with a very prestigious award for her charitable work. She has an organization called the Two Giving Girls.
Boogie Face? That's adorable. Yeah.
And it's the Lou Holtz Award. Is that right?
Oh my gosh, that's amazing.
She was like named one of 20 people under 20. They do it once a year, and it's the Lou Holtz Hall of Fame.
It's amazing.
And isn't she like 10?
Yeah.
Okay. She's half of the age requirement.
She raises money and food for the less fortunate.
That is so
It's really
cool.
special.
Good job, Dad.
Well, it's all been me. I really wish my wife would like help out a little bit, and it's just all been me. It really has.
Well, that's what I love about it, though, is like these stories are so relatable, but clearly this is a really fun family who's got their priorities right, because I'll tell you for sure right now, my kid will not be doing shit when he's 10. And so,
not winning any awards.
Right. I'm just cheering your daughter on. That's all I'm doing.
Well, it's funny because so the animal, whenever we found out that Boogie Face won this award, we were super excited, as you can imagine. So we were kind of like making a big deal of it, and the animal like got really upset, and and we didn't realize, like, we're kind of giving her all this attention, and he kind of felt. So we're like, you know what, buddy, like we can think of something for you too, like some way that you could do some sort of philanthropic thing or whatever. And he's like, what's philanthropic mean? No, but so he said. We said, maybe you can do so and so, and he's like, well, he's like, I don't really want to like help people. I just want to make money. he's like, I just want to get the award.
Yeah, I would definitely think about that sociopath.
That is so great. I appreciate his honesty.
Yeah, like, no, I'm not going to help people. I want to get an award, Dad. Duh.
Yeah,
want the good
he
stuff.
The award. He just want to actually put the time in.
Oh, God, that's so great. Okay, so where can people find your book?
Well, you can find it on Amazon. Mm-hmm. That's pretty much the place to go.
And then your website is?
Yeah, my website is smalltowndad.com.
And do you like people to follow you on social or not really?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. My Twitter is Valentine Brkich. Good luck spelling that. Yeah, I have on Facebook. I have a Small Town Dad, Valentine Brkich, Small Town Dad page. You can follow me there.
Isn't it weird, Sarah, that Val and I were friends because his wife and I used to work together, but Val's sister was on Survivor.
What?
Isn't that weird?
Yeah.
I mean, that is a very strange coincidence.
And you guys have the same birthday, right?
What?
Yes. She and I are like kindred spirits.
It doesn't surprise me, though, because I mean, I bet that you have maybe similar qualities in the things that he likes. It's like...
Yeah.
But yeah, there was this point where, like, Amber was on Survivor, and then we met Susie.
She won, too.
What?
She won Survivor. Yeah,
well,
go ahead.
Sorry,
Sorry,
start with.
Yeah.
The winner of Survivor.
Yeah. Well, then we had other friends who were on The Amazing Race, and like I'm like, what is this? Like,
Yeah.
Everybody you know is on a reality show, or is it that everybody's
my
on a
life
reality
is based
show?
in reality, and it was totally not based in reality.
But
you know,
I will take this out if you ask me to later, but
that's fine.
Val believes, he's one of these people, have you heard of this phenomenon that they believe that they're in the Truman Show and that they're Truman?
Oh, and like everybody else is
Like we're all actors.
Yeah.
So we're all on reality TV, but Val
Wink,
secretly
wink,
thinks
wink.
he's on reality TV. Do you
Well,
still
no,
feel that way?
Well, I not as much anymore because I'm like, no one would make a TV show this depressing. So, so I used to think that when I was real confident and everything was great, like, yes, like this is definitely happening. But now it's really, I was going to talk to you guys about this because I have these insane coincidences happen to me all the time that are inexplicable.
Oh, Sarah will love this. Like what?
Yeah.
Go on.
Okay. All right. So I took the animal to an arcade, a pinball. There's a place near us, and they have like 400 pinball machines and arcade, like vintage arcade machines and things. So I took him there, and then I was going to write about it. And as I'm writing about it, I wrote a sentence that had the words "pinball wizard" in it. Right. So I'm thinking, well, maybe there's something in the song lyrics from the Who's "Pinball Wizard" that I could use. Right. So I'm listening to the radio at the same time I'm writing this piece, and I type in "pinball wizard" in Google, and the second I hit enter on my keyboard on the radio, which I'm not listening to like Spotify or
right.
I'm listening to the radio. On the radio, "Pinball Wizard" by the Who starts.
Jeez,
That's weird.
that would be weird for me.
And I mean, that's
That sounds
that
like
to me
you're in the
all
Truman
time.
Show.
Yeah, you. Maybe you are in the Truman Show. And this happens all the time.
Happens all the time.
You know, there's like a
I
team
kinda
behind
love
him that's
that.
like, he's looking up Pinball Wizard. Everybody cue Pinball Wizard and go.
Yeah, I don't understand that. Like another time I was reading a book and I was the same thing. I was listening to it, and it always goes back to music. And I was listening to the radio, and it's always classic rock for some reason. I just realized that. So I'm reading this book, and in the sentence I'm reading, it says the whipping post. And as I'm reading the words whipping post, I hadn't even been paying attention, but in the background on the radio, whipping post by the Allman Brothers was playing.
That's weird.
Okay. How about this one? Who in your life, do you have like somebody in your life that passed away maybe not that long ago that you had a big connection to music with?
You know what?
Go ahead.
No.
Oh my God, I'm so excited. Sarah was like ready.
I was like,
to
and I'm a
celebrate.
psychic.
No, but but I will tell you, like so, like, you know, Susie's like, I know you're big into music, and I listen to your show, and like you'll say one of you will say something, and I know that Susie's dying to sing the song because I'm singing it to myself.
That's so
Like Sarah
true.
will say words, and I know Susie's singing the song in her head.
Right.
But so like I grew up like in a big music family. Like my dad was like he was like way into Motown and like has always had music on, and you know I've always loved it. And then we went on a cruise this one time, and so I was in this karaoke competition.
He is amazing at karaoke.
Wow.
Yeah.
So thank you very much. But Susie has seen it firsthand. But so on this cruise, I competed against this guy. His name was Bud, and
Of course
he had like this lazy eye, and he was bald, and he was like older, and he was like just I couldn't get away from him on the cruise ship. And of course, during the competition, I sing this Billy Joel song, and I thought I nailed it. And then he comes up and sings a Righteous Brothers song, you know, like the main one. What the heck is it called?
Love and Feel. Lost That Love and Feeling?
No, the other one. Oh gosh, it'll come to me. But anyways, he's one of the Righteous Brothers died that day.
Oh, pandering to the audience.
Yeah, see, he's the last one to sing, and he gets up and sings this song, and you know, it was pretty good, and so he wins. So I'm like,
Even with the lazy eye, huh?
Yeah, even with a lazy eye, he can sing. And so then we get on the plane, and I sit down, and I look back, and I'm like, oh, there's Bud. He's on my plane. Like, wonderful. And so then as we're making our change, like in Charlotte or something, I get off the plane, and all of a sudden this woman comes up and grabs me from behind. She goes, hold on. She goes, Bud wants to talk to you.
This is
I'm
great.
like, oh, great. Wonderful. Bud's going to talk to me. Oh, joy. And so he comes out, and he comes up and gets real close to me, and like, you know, he's like a real, like super close talker. Like he's right up against my face almost. And I'm like, what is going on? And he goes, I had to tell you this. He goes, he told me to let you know that music is your ministry.
What?
And I just stood there, and he goes, he told me to tell you that. And then he just walked away.
Okay.
And I never saw him again.
I have goosebumps.
What?
Dude.
Yeah.
I'm going to stick with what my first.
What do you think that means?
Do you have like a deceased? Is your father
He's
still
around?
He's alive, yeah. No,
a
I
deceased
don't know.
father, a grandfather?
No, I mean,
there's somebody who's talking to you.
No, I mean, it's crazy. It's like, so I've been trying to figure, so that was probably 20 years ago, and I've been trying to figure out what that means for the past 20 years.
Oh my God.
Dude.
Well,
Yeah,
it is your ministry.
Are you a religious person?
He is.
Yeah,
Do you have any desire to be in the youth ministries?
I would die.
And like play a guitar and sing to like
Have you read
junior
my
high
book?
kids?
Yeah, you need to read the Chronicles of Boogie Face and the Animal. That is hilarious. But
Yeah.
I mean, maybe he wants you to know that for a reason, Val.
Yeah, I know.
This interview took a weird turn. I didn't see this
I kind
coming.
of love it. That story, I was like on the edge of my seat though. It's so good.
Yeah.
Bud,
I don't
man.
know.
Well,
Just rambling on.
if you ever figure out who it was
Yeah.
that's telling you that, let us know. We could do a part
Yeah,
2.
I've tried to like do the whole Facebook Google thing, but all I know is Bud Lazy Eye. It doesn't really work when I do research.
Oh, well, everyone needs to read your book. It's wonderful. And your blog, The Chronicles of Boogie Face and the Animal, One Small Town Dad's Adventures in Fatherhood. Valentine J. Brkich.
Thank you.
Thanks for coming on the show, and thanks for redoing it and not being mad about it.
You're the best.
I don't know what you're talking about. This is great. I can't believe I was finally able to talk to you guys for the first time ever. Susie, you sound like a really nice person.
Shut up. I
No,
love
seriously,
you.
I love you too. Thank you so much for having me on, both of you guys. I really appreciate it.
Thank you,
Thanks for coming
Val.
on here.
Talk to you soon.
All right, see you later.
Bye.